At the core of mathematical optimization is a single objective: finding the exact variable inputs that either maximize or minimize a specific function to produce the best possible solution. This map illustrates the traveling salesman problem, a benchmark for testing optimization. Calculate the shortest route visiting every city once. But adding minor variables, just 20 more cities, triggers a combinatorial explosion. This scales into an NP-hard problem. The defining characteristic here is that while verifying a correct route is easy, calculating the best route out of millions of variables becomes impossibly difficult. Traditional derivative-based algorithms fail under these conditions. They are deterministic, meaning they attempt to evaluate every single data point in a sequence, which simply demands too much compute time. When the mathematical model is unavailable, or the search space is overwhelmingly large, relying on single-point calculation becomes useless. To navigate computationally intractable problems, engineers must abandon the search for deterministic perfection and turn to stochastic, population-based search methods. Methodically, we call the sum of all possible candidate solutions to a given problem the search space. This 3D topographic map visualizes that search space as an objective function landscape. Every coordinate is a data point, and the elevation represents the mathematical quality of the solution. A local optimum is a solution that appears to be the best within a small, restricted region of the data. The global optimum, meanwhile, is the absolute best solution among all possible choices across the entire space. Deterministic algorithms easily get permanently trapped in a local optimum. Because they calculate sequentially, they cannot evaluate data beyond the immediate downward slopes surrounding them. Evolutionary computing approaches the math differently, drawing its mechanics directly from Charles Darwin's theory of natural selection. By mapping biological mechanisms to computational variables, evolutionary algorithms can blindly, yet effectively, traverse nonlinear mathematical landscapes. The first step in evolutionary computing is translating a candidate solution into a machine-readable data structure, defined as a chromosome. The individual variables inside are its genes. Instead of testing one at a time, the algorithm generates a massive population of randomized solutions. During this initialization phase, these random data points are scattered blindly across the search space. This population can consist of discrete integer values or continuous real-valued data depending on the parameters of the problem. Initiating a diverse, widespread population guarantees a parallel global exploration of the search space, preventing the algorithm from focusing too early on a narrow region. Once the population is initialized, it is subjected to the fitness function. This is an objective mathematical judge that measures a solution's quality based on strict criteria, like lowest cost or highest accuracy. As this animation shows, the algorithm evaluates the population by running every chromosome through the fitness function, ranking them by their score. The algorithm then applies a selection operator, aggressively culling the low-performing solutions. It uses specific probability methods, like roulette wheel or tournament selection, to select the highest-scoring survivors to act as parents. Crossover or recombination is the primary mechanism for algorithmic convergence. The distinct parent strings slice and swap their data. Exchanging this data creates new offspring strings that inherit the most successful traits of both parents. As generations loop, crossover systematically exploits the known good regions of the search space. Without selection and crossover, the algorithm is merely guessing at random. With them, it mathematically enforces a steady march toward the optimum. But relying purely on crossover exposes a fatal algorithmic flaw: premature convergence. Because the population relies strictly on parental data, it eventually loses diversity and inbreeds directly into a local optimum. The solution is mutation. This is the intentional injection of random mathematical noise into the population. This tiny random variation forces the algorithm to generate and check entirely new, unexplored data. The physical effect is immediate. A data point instantly teleports from a low valley directly over a ridge and lands on a separate peak. While crossover searches locally by refining known successes, mutation searches globally by randomly jumping into unknown territory. Mutation acts as the essential algorithmic failsafe. It guarantees the system always maintains the ability to bump itself out of a dead end and continue searching for the global optimum. When we synthesize these individual operators, we get the complete block flowchart of an evolutionary algorithm. During the replacement phase, the new offspring take the place of the old population, and the cycle repeats, running for hundreds or thousands of generations. The loop only breaks when it meets a defined termination condition. Either a maximum generation limit is reached or the target fitness score is achieved. This differentiates optimization from a constraint satisfaction problem like Sudoku. In constraint satisfaction, the goal is merely finding any valid solution. Here, the process is designed to iteratively construct the best possible solution. There are engineering drawbacks to this approach. Evolutionary algorithms carry a high computational cost, and they rely heavily on accurate parameter tuning. But those costs are offset by extreme flexibility. They require no derivative math and easily process noisy, nonlinear data. As we see mapped on the 3D landscape, a massive swarm of diverse data points evaluates millions of combinations, clustering together to climb straight to the global optimum. By trading absolute deterministic certainty for stochastic evolutionary iteration, engineers can calculate near optimal solutions to the most complex simulation challenges in modern computing.